everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, Tuesday night, the Sulphur Springs City Council approved on first reading several ordinances dealing with city property tax and service rates and amended the current fiscal year budget. The council approved an ordinance that adds about $90,000 to the current budget. City Finance Director Lisa Smith explained the municipal airport has sold more jet fuel, so they had to buy more jet fuel. The ordinance will require a second reading and final approval at a future council meeting. City Council also, on first reading, approved an appropriations ordinance needed to adopt the budget for the next fiscal year, which is expected to be done at a special meeting later this month. The council also adopted an ordinance on first reading setting the city tax rate for next year's budget at 44 cents per $100 of valuation. Ms. Smith noted that if adopted, it would mark more than 15 years in which the tax rate has remained unchanged. However, for the next budget, revenue collected is expected to rise due to an increase in property values. Also, on first reading, the council passed ordinances increasing the sanitation rate by 1.5%, the water rate by 3%, and the sewer rate by 2%. Some of the increases will help pay for upgrades at the water treatment plant. The council also approved on first reading an ordinance which adopts a new gas rate for Atmos. A city steering committee and the company reached an agreement on that new rate. During the council meeting, it was also reported that the street maintenance fee program has resulted in doubling the amount of street surfaces that received repairs this past fiscal year. It was also reported that plans for a major repair project have started earlier than expected due to the precarious state of the Cantex sewer lift system. City officials said some serious problems have been experienced along the line. Sulphur Springs road crews were able to repair 3.59 miles of city streets this year, including 1.53 miles more than what was approved in the regular yearly paving program. Well, today on Channel 18 TV News, we mark a special birthday. Christus Mother Frances Hospital, Sulphur Springs, is celebrating 70 years of hospital service on this Thursday, September 5th. The hospital is planning a month-long celebration. Hospital currently employs more than 600 for the hospital and its clinic. The hospital had an open house, you may remember it, back on September 4th, 1949, and they were open for business the next day. Back then, the hospital had 42 adult beds and 8 for those newborn babies. The current hospital is licensed for 96 beds.
On this special day in our community history, which is the 70th anniversary of our local hospital, we invited Christus CEO Paul Harvey and the newest certified athletic trainer Kyle Lamar.
It's our 70th anniversary of the hospital. It opened its doors this time 70 years ago, back in 1949, and it's been a remarkable journey, and we're just so proud that we're able to be here to continue the healthcare services that our forefathers, all got together to start in this great city and county of ours.
Well, for 70 plus years, Sulphur Springs and Hopkins County have not been without a hospital, and that's more than some small towns can say.
That's right, and for any rural hospital, regardless of the size in the community, to be able to be thriving, continue to offer full services and looking at adding additional services to meet the needs of those that we serve. It's just a blessing that we're able to do that in with our mission being as a Christus Hospital to extend the healing ministry of Jesus Christ. So we're really proud of to be able to carry that tradition and heritage on.
Well, okay, as we go through September 5th, think of our hospital as you go through your day. And speaking of new things added, we have a kind of a new department. Will you introduce yourself, please?
Well, my name is Kyle Lamar. I'm the sports medicine coordinator, now going to be based here in Sulphur Springs.
Okay, well, welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
So this is a new endeavor for our hospital, is that right?
It is. It's we started this program down in Tyler, and we're able to expand that to cover Sulphur Springs, and we're really proud to be able to offer this and have a true partnership with all of our high schools that are in our service area that they can now look to us for their sports medicine needs, and that's what Kyle is out there working with them on.
Okay.
Something that when I go out to the schools, I say that here at Sulphur Springs, you're still getting the big city care in a small town, and that's what I love about here. You're getting all the support. All the local high schools are not wanting to drive to Tyler all the time and not always want to drive to Dallas, when we can provide those same services here in Sulphur Springs.
So on an individual basis, say there's a student at, let's say, Raines or Mount Vernon or wherever, in any sort of sport, and they call upon the hospital, is that right? Then
they will.
What can you offer? What do you do first?
So primarily, we can get these athletes scheduled to any services that are needed, whether that's to be scheduled with their primary care providers or more of my specialties more in the orthopedic field. We have 2 providers that are on board to see these athletes and are willing to see these athletes, get them in a timely manner, and the big thing that we push is accessibility. So if the doctors can do the workups, do everything necessarily here, if they can't, then they know how to direct them in the right area. But most definitely we want to try to keep it all here, not just for our benefit, but more importantly for the local athletes and their families' benefit.
You know, it used to be a thing. You'd have to take your kid to wherever when there was an injury.
Yeah, and what's cool about this is now during football season, we just started a clinic on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At the hospital, where any athlete that is part of our partnership for participation, that they can be seen immediately through this clinic that just caters to student athletes. And it's very, we just started last Saturday, didn't we?
Started, yes. So the big thing is we offer a free clinic. Each athlete gets, or a patient gets a free x-ray and a free doctor's visit. And then if they need further testing, we will bill their insurance and school insurance along with that as well. But they do get a free x-ray. I think that's a great starting point where the providers can do their initial evaluation and then kind of come up with a plan.
And working with the family,
most
right?
definitely.
Okay.
The big thing that we try to promote is, a lot of patients or athletes, when they're injured on Friday nights, we want to make sure that when they leave either Friday night or Saturday from the clinic, they know what the next step is from there and they don't fall through the cracks.
So the clinic and your consultation, let's say at the schools, is kind of a gateway to care, or the correct kind of care.
Most definitely. The big thing, once again, to push is accessibility. We want to make sure that we're just promoting a service, and then we're getting to be a true ministry to this area.
Okay. You look like you might have played high school sports.
I did. So
okay. Tell us about where you're from.
I'm originally from southeast Missouri, a small town called Malden, a small school, so I had to play, or got to play everything, football, basketball, and baseball. Okay. And then once I graduated, I ended up going to Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar, Missouri, played 1 year there. And then I had other things and going on in life. I wanted to get married. My wife and I got married very young at 19 and 20 years old. So we went to college at Missouri State University in Springfield, Missouri. So.
And you did some training also in Tyler at Christus?
Yes. So after I graduated with my undergrad, I ended up coming here and hired on as a graduate assistant through Christus Tree Mother Francis. And then during that time, I did my graduate assistant and also got my master's in healthcare administration. And then was able to do training in Tyler, working with the providers and learning how to run a clinic and do that as well.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we reached out to you and that you accepted our invitation
For sure.
I
to
am
Sulphur
too.
Springs. So sports medicine is a new offering from
It is.
Christus for area sports students or athletes.
That's correct. So, in our service area, we have about 9 or 10 high schools. If you just think about high schools, and most of them have, a football program or other programs. So if you look at, from Emory to Quitman to Winsboro, and then in all of Hopkins County and then Mount Vernon, our goal is with Kyle is to work with those athletic directors, with those coaches, with those trainers. That some of those trainers and some of the schools we've talked about have actually been through the same program that Kyle did, and now they're serving in the same capacities within those schools. So it's about linking up with them to know that there's now that they can get local care, immediate accessibility to be able to help that student athlete and their family determine the next level of care that might be needed, given what may have happened on Friday night or even during practice. We've been Kyle's been handling calls and stuff that kids get have some problems that happen during their practices that now we can follow the same process and get them in to see what's going on immediately.
That is a huge thing for parents to know that, for one thing, they don't have to seek out someone in another town. Christus is attempting and doing a good job of providing everything we need here.
That's the goal. I mean, we can't, in some of those high-tech, high-level type services like, if you need surgeries, dealing with the brain or with the heart, you want to go to those hospitals that provide those services all the time. But outside of that, we're advancing to make sure that we can provide all the other type care and do it right here in Sulphur Springs for those that we serve. And that's our goal. We've had a major improvement in our digestive services with a full-time GI, Dr. Malad. We now have a full-time interventional pain management program here with Dr. Johnson. And then we're expanding on the orthopedic side through the sports medicine program that Kyle's here to talk about.
Most definitely.
So, since the school semester has just begun,
yes,
tell me what contacts you've had with kids so far.
So far, we've had a few athletes that have come into the Saturday clinic so far. I think it's kind of a time crunch when we decided to do the sports medicine clinic. So I think more and more as word gets out, we're going to have quite a bit of athletes coming in. And then I will say I have complete access at night to schedule patients. So I get phone calls almost 24/7 from local athletic trainers to schedule in with one of our orthopedic specialists. So,
well, this is a good connection with all of our schools all across the county and beyond. So, when and where is the clinic?
So the clinic is here in Sulphur Springs. It's 103B Medical Circle is the address. It's primarily with Dr. Graves. And then our mid-level, Jen Flowers, is our family nurse practitioner that works in the ortho clinic as well.
And Saturdays at what time?
Saturday clinic is going to be through the ED department. So main entrance, that's the only door that's open at the hospital. It's 115 Airport Road. And so you'll just enter there. We have signs that'll show you, we'll be very clear. You're not going through the ED. We're going through our own separate entity of the sports medicine clinic, but it's just through the same entrance. So we bring in another way to go through the back and make sure that you're getting the same services. We just have a different revenue of doing that.
And it's morning?
It'll be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
So the way we promote it is first come, first serve. If you're the first one there, you'll be the first one seen. And we try to get you there as early as possible, especially if you need further testing done, such as an MRI. We can do that same day, but there are some other revenues, such as pre-authorization we need to do. So if you can get there sooner, the better, and we can make sure that we'll get you seen that day.
Well, I have a feeling that you are going to be seeing a lot of students through this clinic, and that's part of your connection with our schools and service that you provide. Today is really a wonderful time to think about how far we've come in medicine offered locally.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, if you think about the vision and the planning that a few of our civic leaders did back then, It was a, less than 40-bed hospital. I think there was a total of 11, nurses and physicians at that time. And, there's a whole history of all those families that helped with the startup of that. And that vision, when the hospital moved from Davis Street to its current location back in the 60s, that set another foundation. And then you see the growth and what our hospital looks like today, which by the way, we have some, we're resurfacing all of our parking lots in front, so okay. it looks a little, it looks a lot cleaner and nicer because we've had some issues with our parking lot, but I'm proud to say we're getting those fixed. So.
Okay. Well, did you bake a cake?
Yeah, so what we're doing, so we have events planned for the next month to help with our associates, and today is our cupcake day, and so we're doing cupcakes with our 70th anniversary on that, and so it's just a fun time that we're doing on behalf of our associates and people that are in there serving our patients here in our service area.
Well, it's a wonderful thing that we have here in our county. Thank you for thank you for coming, and Krista's coming here to help us. And Kyle Lamar,
yes, ma'am.
The new certified athletic trainer with the program. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
In sports, the Wildcats football team plays the Lovejoy Leopards in Lucas on Friday night. The Leopards are coached by Todd Ford, who back in the 90s led the Texas Longhorns to victory in a bowl game as their quarterback. The Leopards are 0-1 this season, just like the Wildcats. Lovejoy lost a close one, 13-10, to Colleyville Heritage Saturday night in the Tom Landry Classic in Allen, not very far from the Lovejoy campus. Concerning that opening loss, Coach Ford said he's proud of the way that his players have responded after that opening week loss. He said they played with effort and they played hard, but he said he did not think that the Leopards played very smart. He said he would have liked to say that they protected the ball, they tackled well, they didn't have a lot of penalties, and just overall played a clean game. But he said that just did not happen. Coach Ford gave two reasons, and they will sound familiar to Wildcats fans. Number one, it was the first game of the season. And number two, many of the young Leopards players were experiencing Friday Night Lights for the very first time ever. Coach Ford said it's his job as the leader to push the envelope and get the Leopards to improve sooner rather than later. Just like the Wildcats, after a second non-district game Friday, Lovejoy will begin district play the following Friday. Lovejoy is in a 9-team district that includes highly touted Frisco Reedy. On offense, the Leopards have a quarterback who can really run. Coach Ford does say, though, that R.W. Rucker can also throw the ball very well. His favorite receiver is Reed Westervelt. Austin King is a powerful running back. The Leopards' offensive and defensive lines are very large. Perhaps one of the best is Tyler Beidelman, a 295-pound player who plays both offensive tackle and defensive tackle. Running back King is also a middle linebacker for the Leopards defense. Leopards defensive leaders, according to Coach Ford, include the aforementioned Beidelman and King, and also free safety Quinn McDermott. Coach Ford mentions several Wildcats who impressed him on tape. He included quarterback Caden Wallace, running backs DeCorian Chalk Sims and Caden Davis, defensive end Cameron Coffert, and outside linebacker Colin Wade. That's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.